Lovely to see you again,
Thank
Nella.
you, Annette.
I thank you very much. I really look forward to working with you in this mentoring relationship. We've spoken a bit about each of our backgrounds. Now we want to really focus in what you want from this experience. And it's basically going to be a 12-month relationship where we're going to get together once a month and check in terms of where you're at with what we decide to focus on. So I'm curious around what would be the three areas that would be most useful for you in this mentoring relationship?
Three areas that I feel I could really develop on, um, coaching, a bit more knowledge about how to coach my team, how to guide them into their
Mhm.
goals,
Yeah.
learning a little bit more about the back end process um, within the company. So learning how to read P&L reports, invoicing, reconciliations, stuff like that,
Okay.
and also handling customer disputes. So those are the
Right.
three areas I'd really like to work actively on.
Okay. So, given it's our first conversation, we probably can't address all three at this point, but we can focus on one and get really clear of where you're wanting to aim towards
Mhm.
getting by the end of the 12 months we spend in our relationship together in the formal part of this mentoring program. So, which one would you like to begin with first?
I think the most relevant one would definitely be customer disputes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what would your best hopes be in relation to customer disputes, and if if you were better at dealing with it, what are your best hopes from this experience around that topic?
My best hopes are that in myself and improving that within myself, I can take a little bit of the responsibility off of our branch manager, who at the moment is just swamped under doing these. He's not able to focus on his role and his goals, and in my being able to help him with that would just better our branch overall.
Okay.
Balance basically balance it so that we're each able to focus a little bit more on our other goals because it's just taking
Okay.
up too much time, too much of his time. So,
Right.
yeah, really like to help him with that.
So, in summary, what difference would it make to your branch manager, Damien? Isn't it your branch manager?
Yes,
And what difference would it make to Damien if you were able to handle more of these customer disputes?
I think it would make a huge difference because right now he's not able to give much of his time towards our coaching and development because he's just swamped under so much workload. And being able to do that, he'll be able to spend more time with us, helping us develop our goals, helping the
Yeah.
branch run a little bit smoother, just spend a little bit more time, hands on
Mm,
time. Yeah.
yeah. And what difference would it make to you if you were able to step up and take more of these customer disputes from Damien?
I think personally, it would really help um, my confidence in being able to deal with these difficult customers. Right now, I really struggle with having difficult conversations. It's something that I get really nervous about. It's not
Right.
part of my personality. So I think personal development wise, I think it would help me with my confidence. And in terms of my ability towards my long-term goal of assistant branch manager, it would help my
Yes.
career a lot as well. So it's something that personally and career development wise, I'd really like to work towards.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
would really make a difference then,
absolutely.
as yeah, you'd mentioned that you'd wanting to move into long term, move into a branch manager role. So
Yeah.
this would be one of the key skills that
Yes,
would be necessary
absolutely.
for being able to move there. So if it's okay, why don't we delve in a bit deeper in terms of how would you know that you'd built your skill around this and you're able to take some of these conversations off Damien so he can focus on the coaching and development of the team.
Absolutely.
suppose you were good at this, handling customer disputes and the difficult conversations. How would you know? What would that look like if you were able to do that?
What it would look like is when the customer is first calling through with the dispute, I could handle it then and there, rather than the customer having to wait for a branch manager to get to him, rather than having to handball and the process. You could deal with it then and there. The customer's got a great experience. I'm able to have the confidence and the initiative to deal with something on the spot. And then it doesn't get escalated essentially as well to the branch manager having to deal with it. It's just a much shorter turnaround time, a better resolution for everyone overall.
Okay. So how would you notice that you're better at this and you're able to, when the call comes in, take it straight away and not sort of refer it on? How would you notice this, that you're better at this?
I think I would notice it in the customer's overall experience. When a customer's unhappy or with the service, they really make it known to you. After they speak to Damien, for example, with a dispute, afterwards they're really appreciative of everything that we do for them in handling the dispute. So I guess I would hear more of that feedback from them firsthand.
Yes.
So overall, we'll get happier customers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, Nella, have you observed Damien do it in terms of these conversations and de-escalate it, like it calms it down? Have you noticed him do that?
I have noticed him, and he's very, very good at doing it.
Wow. So, okay. And what is it that he does that
he
you
just
notice?
stays so cool and calm and collected. He asks a lot of questions to the customer about how their perspective of things, how they see the solution. He actually kind of mentors them to work towards their own solution. He's just guiding there and assisting them in reaching that resolution. So he's just fantastic. He just does it so well. Yeah. The customer basically comes to their own solution. We help them getting there. Customer feels like we've done an excellent job in helping them get there, and they're overall happy. So I feel like in learning how to do that for the customer, watching him do that, it's just not getting flustered, helping the customer. It's really about guiding them, you know.
So if we break down what he does, and you said he asks questions, he stays calm, he gets their perspective of what's actually happened. What else does he do that seems to work?
He actively listens as well. He really listens, you know. He doesn't try to talk over them. He asks them open-ended questions and really listens to the customers. The issue, he gets to the bottom of the issue. Yeah.
And can you see yourself doing a similar thing with customers?
I do think so. I do see myself doing a similar thing. I think it's just about asking the right questions, and just being prepared for those answers as well.
Yeah.
So sometimes their answers can be a little bit hard to listen because it's sometimes about a mistake that we've done and we have to really own it. And it's just being prepared to take that on board essentially as well.
Yes. So that perspective taking as well, and honouring in terms of what's happened from your end as the organisation.
Accountability essentially. Yeah.
So if you were in this situation and you'd developed really well to be able to handle these calls, what would you notice about yourself if you were doing it well in these conversations? What would be some of the key things that you'd be really pleased about?
I think I would be very pleased about my ability to turn around the situation from a negative to a positive. And I think I would also see myself having those conversations with my team as well, because an essential part of that is when Damien takes on board, like something that we have honestly done wrong, he will then take that as a learning opportunity for our team, as a coaching moment. So I think in being able to take those difficult conversations and turn it into a learning moment for our team,
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
So it all links together. So I would see myself coaching our team more, and that would lead into it as well.
And so what difference would that make if you're coaching your team more?
It would make a huge difference, I think, in that we would be tackling areas that we're really struggling with. Like having those customer issues, those disputes are actually really important for our team's development because they're keying in on the areas that we're really weak on. And
Right.
that is an excellent opportunity for our team to improve.
Yes.
So us taking that feedback on board, passing it on to our team and really working on those areas is just so important for us to improve ourselves as well.
I'm really taken by how that learning opportunity that happens that you're saying your experience from Damien with your team around how can we develop in this area, how can we not have this repeated, and that. And so if we get back to in conversation with these customers, they've rung up about the concern that they've had. What will they notice about you in that conversation, which would tell them that you're doing it well?
I think they would notice that I'm really listening to their issues and I'm coming to a solution to that issue straight away. I'm really taking their issues seriously because instead of me going, well, I'm so sorry that you've had the experience, let me get back to you, or let my branch manager get back to you. So that they're feeling initially a little bit like, handballed. If I'm dealing with that issue then and there, really listening to them, dealing with the issue straight away, coming to a solution, then I think they would feel very valued as a customer. So I think that's a really important part of it as well.
And how would they notice that they're being valued by you?
Well, we're dealing with that issue straight away. We're really going above and beyond to fix their solution, to fix their issue, coming to a solution that's satisfactory for them. We're going above and beyond. We're really apologizing and listening. So yeah, not just seeing them as like a figure, more as like a partnership, because we're providing the service. Normally it's what will set us apart from other hire companies, basically, just really seeing them as a partnership.
Yes. And so how else will they know that you're taking this partnership approach in these customer disputes? How else might they notice this?
Well, they might see us asking for feedback even when there is no issue, that feedback is so important.
Yeah. So the feedback would be around what that you would be asking for?
Just areas of improvement. So not necessarily asking for feedback when there's an issue, but asking for feedback when there is no issue. So that me having the confidence to deal with those difficult conversations will mean I can ask for feedback all the time. And then it will give us more things that we can improve on, not just when there's an issue. So
yes. So just help me get clear here. Is you would be in regular contact with your customers?
Yes. Well, we are in regular contact with them all the time because they're continually, it's like a continual service.
Yes.
Especially for our big customers, they come to us and we speak to them multiple times a day, every day, for what they require, basically.
Okay.
So if I'm asking for continual feedback, I think they would feel very valued as well. Like we care about their perspective on things, and they will feel valued as a customer, that their opinion is heard.
Yes. Okay. And has there been times already where you've done it really well in terms of handling the customer dispute? Has there been any experience of doing that already?
Yeah, there's been a few times with our smaller accounts that I've taken ownership of some issues. And I've then found that when I've done that, they are then asking for me when I call. They're bringing
Ah,
in more business because they feel like I really care. You know, I get to know them better as well. So there's
yes,
like that personal relationship then, and they feel like I've gone above and beyond for them. I'm not just like a face to the company. I'm now working together with them to go
yes.
above and beyond. So I've actually had a small account grow into like a bigger size account
Wow.
because I've handled a dispute. And yeah, I just really like the confidence to deal with those bigger disputes, you know, like
Yes.
the
Okay.
nitty gritty ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would Damien be noticing if you were successful at handling these bigger disputes? What would he notice?
I think he would notice that I'm not deferring to him so much.
Right.
I'm not asking for his constant input, you know, because sometimes I feel like I need the reassurance from him
Yes.
to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. But I think he would find that I am asking for less and less reassurance because I'm feeling more confident in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And what would difference would it make if you're feeling that you're more confident in handling these bigger disputes?
I think it would make a huge difference to to his time management
Right.
and also to myself as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think because if I'm coming to him less with the little things, he's got more time for the big things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if this is a 10 out of 10, that you're able to handle these customer dispute calls straight up, yeah, you're remaining calm, you're asking questions, you're getting their perspective, you're asking open-ended questions, you're actively listening, you've had the ability to turn it around from a negative to a positive, and you're working with your own team about, coaching and developing them around any of the disputes that come up, and you're coming up with a solution. It's a real partnership approach. You're being brave and apologizing when things haven't gone right. You're getting feedback continually. And Damien doesn't get these calls anymore because you're being able to resolve them. That's a 10 out of 10.
Mm.
What's our starting point today? Where would you say you are on that scale? One being there's no evidence of you doing any of that, which probably isn't because you said you've done some smaller accounts.
Mhm.
So where would you place yourself today?
I think I would place myself smack bang in the middle, a
Okay.
5.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
how come you get that high? What is it that's already in place that seems to be working?
So what's happening already is when Damien identifies an area that we need work on, because he deals with the big disputes at the moment, I'm then given the responsibility to pass that feedback onto our team, maybe come up with like a coaching session or a little workshop session on how we can improve on that area. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm already starting to do the coaching area, and he has given me
Yes.
the responsibility of some smaller accounts
Right.
to start dealing with those issues, you know, the really simple ones. So
Mm.
I feel like I can do it on a small scale, but I would like to just upgrade the scale a little bit and take a bit more
Yeah.
on. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you did move it to a 6, what would be some signs that you're making progress on this?
Um, Signs are, I guess Damien would really be passing on a little bit more responsibility to me.
Okay.
And
And how would he know that you're ready for more responsibility?
I would be asking for it. Oh,
Ah,
I'd be asking for it. Because right now, because I feel like I don't have the capability to do it. I'm not asking for it. You know,
mm,
he's trying to give it to me, and I'm
mm,
really trying to like guide me into doing it myself. But I guess once I've got that confidence, I would really be saying, "Hey, I think I'm good to take these bigger accounts on now. How about
yeah.
you talk me through that? Or, hey, would you like me to take care of this account for you?" So I think he would be really seeing me asking for more work.
And taking that initiative to,
Exactly. Yeah.
challenge yourself and try and find out more about how you can do that.
Exactly.
So, what else might be a sign that you've moved it to a 6? What would you be noticing about yourself in the conversation with the customers?
I guess my customers that are coming through on the phones with issues would be coming out with a resolution straight away. So they'll give me that feedback directly.
Right.
Because at the end of a conversation, usually they say, well, thank you so much. You know, it started off, there was this issue, but you've done a great job in fixing that up for me. They're usually quite verbal with it. So I feel like
Yeah, okay.
I would be hearing that more often, and
Ah,
that it always gives you a little like boost, you know, oh well, I'm doing a good job. So I
yes.
feel like that will just help me build on my confidence a bit more.
Yeah.
The more I hear it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the difference that would make hearing those compliments that coming back from customers that you've resolved it, what difference would that make to you?
A huge difference towards I think it's for me, it's just the confidence that it would really help me build onto that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's a good name for this project around customer disputes and having these difficult conversations? If you called it a project name, a headline, what do you reckon would be a good one to keep you reminded about you're growing in this area?
Yeah, I guess I would call it Project Turnaround, just to
Oh,
turn around like a negative into a positive, you know?
yeah, love that. And what might be your next small step that you might take to start moving you to the 6 out of 10? What's the first thing you're going to do?
The next time a call like that comes through, I might just give it a shot. Just
Wow.
just see what I can do for the customer then and there. If I feel like I can't handle it, I'll obviously pass it on. But I feel like I need to give myself that chance to really just give it a shot and learn. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What else might you do as well as
Um,
just give it a shot?
I might I might ask Damien as well. I might ask him to really maybe talk me through a session with him. Yeah. Maybe ask him what he feels I can work on as well. Maybe ask for his feedback on what he
Yeah,
thinks
okay.
my areas I can work on will be
Okay.
from his perspective, and that might give me something to work towards.
So areas to work on in specifically dealing with customers' disputes.
Exactly.
Got
Yes.
it. Okay. And I'm wondering, would you like a suggestion from me?
Yes, I would love one. Yeah.
I'm wondering if there is a common theme around common customer disputes. You know, does Damien see a pattern of generally it's around this area or this area, so that when you do talk to him about talking you through, it's
Mhm.
specifically around some of the ones that he sees happen a lot.
Yes, there definitely are very common themes,
Right.
and the usual clerical errors that happen within my team when
Yeah.
putting through an order that lead to these mistakes on site.
Yes.
So it's really about training our team in the correct process and
Ah,
to make sure that these little things that may not seem like a little thing when we're inputting the data, but can snowball into bigger issues on site.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so I think that's the main issues that happen. It can little things that branch from that, but
Mm.
it's mainly those clerical errors that we really need to fine tune.
Right.
Yeah.
So is it after you talk to Damien about what those common themes are, that then it's about the next step is about training a team around
Yes.
here's the impact
Yes.
that this has had, these minor clerical errors create this
Absolutely.
conversation. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. And so I'm curious, Nella, around what is it that how does this relate to then you having the more difficult conversations with your team members? What's similar, do you think, in terms of handling customers?
I think it feeds directly into it. So because that really connects with coaching my team. Another area that I feel I have to work on is just being able to give and receive feedback
Yes.
in a positive way, and
Yes.
it's always it has to be in a positive way. So the same as we deal with a difficult conversation with a customer,
Yeah.
trying to turn it into a positive, it's the same with our team.
Right.
So I think if I mirror those techniques that I'm learning with my customer, I can then use that with my team.
Yeah.
And instead of it being like something negative, something to work on, like an area of weaknesses, then this is something we can improve on. This is something that will really make an impact for the customer, really putting it in a positive perspective.
Yeah. I love that. I'm quite taken today, Nella, of your openness to grow and develop and be even better at your role, in two aspects, with the customers, but also with your own team. There's just such a eagerness to learn,
Thank you. Really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
hearing that. Yeah.
So I'm curious from our first conversation in terms of this mentoring relationship, what's been most useful from this conversation today for you?
I think what's been most useful for me is really giving myself a next step. So now that I've got a next step to work towards, it doesn't seem so scary. It doesn't seem like something far in the distance that I have to work towards. I feel like it is attainable. It's just taking that little leap.
Yes.
Which can seem like a big deal, but when you break it down into something small, it seems so achievable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I really look forward to our further conversations. Generally, these conversations will go for an hour long, and we just need to decide where and when to have the next one, whether it's still via Zoom or, there may be a time that we can meet up in person as well. So let's sort of communicate through email about when the next conversation is. And then the next conversation, we can delve deeper into that other area that you spoke about, which was having more difficult conversations with your team, as well as, the longer term career goal of moving into branch manager.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So thank you so much for the conversation today. Do let me know if there's anything you want me to do more of, less of, in terms of how I mentor you. But this is your focus. You decide where we focus each conversation. So there may be things that come up in between conversations that you think, I would really like to focus on that next time. Certainly flexible to go where you want to go.
Amazing.
But I look forward to continuing the
Me
conversation.
too. Thank you so much, Annette. Really taken a lot out of the session. Thank you.